Welcome everybody. I'm going to be talking about the Seismitoad buffs and changes in this hack, but quickly before I get into that, I want to have a little disclaimer for anybody who just happened to be clicking on this video. Welcome, by the way. I want to make sure that you check out the description below and look at all of the other buffs and changes for all of the Pokemon so far in this hack. In the description below, there is a link to the very same Google Sheet that I use in all my videos. And most importantly, while you're doing that, you should definitely be checking out the move buffs and changes here on the bottom tab. As you can see, there are tons of other very useful and important sheets here on the bottom. But most importantly, there is this move change sheet, because basically every single move is buffed or changed. And this is not the type of thing you can just wing and, oh, you know, I'll play as I go and look at all the move changes. I mean, unless you're not playing seriously whatsoever and purely playing for fun and not doing a Nuzlocke, in which case I guess you could do that, but that's not optimal at all, because they are so vastly changed. It would be you would be doing yourself a disservice at understanding what the Pokemon do without understanding what the moves do. So with that being said, a little bit of a longer intro than usual, but we've got Seismitoad and of course the pre-evolutions as always. These guys have some really nice buffs. So water grounds, there was a lot of overlap between the water grounds, and there was a big, at least in my opinion, gap between how good some of them are. For example, Whiscash was absolutely terrible, and then, you know, some of the other ones are a lot better. Seismitoad no longer has Swift Swim. Two reasons. Number one, Mega Swampert has Swift Swim, and I want to be very careful, and I want to make it so that every Pokemon is unique and viable from one another. Therefore, having two water ground types with Swift Swim, even if one is just a Mega, still feels a little bit unoriginal to me. So it was out of Seismitoad and Mega Swampert. It fits Mega Swampert a lot more because his Pokedex entries actually talk about him swimming really fast and strongly, versus Seismitoad is just a fat frog. So I don't really see Swift Swim on him as much. Not that it doesn't fit, but it doesn't fit as well as it does on Mega Swampert. So that's why he no longer has Swift Swim. To compensate, though, he has great abilities. So I believe these guys used to have Water Absorb. They now have Dry Skin because Swampert has Water Absorb. Minimal difference there. Obviously, there are Water Ground types, so I gave Gastrodon, one of the forms is Poison Ground, the other one is Water Ground, and they both have Regenerator. But one of them has Storm Drain, of course, as it always did, and then Swampert has Water Absorb, so there's only one more water immunity ability left. Swampert also has Hydration, so I can't give that to Seismitoad. Not that like it really wants hydration that much. It's a good ability, but nothing too crazy. So Dry Skin is really nice because you still have that immunity to water. You only take 25. Oh, my shelf just fell down. I will fix that after the video. A little fucking shelf with the Reggie plushies on it. I'll fix it after. Oh, now I lost my train of thought. So what I'm trying to say here is, give me a second to recollect my thoughts. Palpitoad, Seismitoad, Dry Skin. Yeah. So Dry Skin is really nice because you only gain, you only take 25% more from fire moves, which is not a big deal at all. It doesn't really matter that much. Not to mention it is optional. So if you absolutely need to switch your Seismitoad in on a fire type attack, and Dry Skin means that it would 2-shot you as opposed to 3-shot, then go ahead and run Sheer Force for that boss fight. It's not that deep because in this ROM hack you do have access to infinite usability capsules, which is a really, really, really nice tool. So Dry Skin, you're running that for that water immunity, and you also get residual recovery in the rain. Rain in general is a lot better, and weather in general is a lot better in this hack because the weather rocks give 6 turns, and most Pokemon have access to some type of switch move, like Parting Shot or U-turn or Volt Switch, so you can easily get off the weather and then switch into your abuser of the weather, or you can set it up yourself, and you have, if you do switch out, you'll have 9 full turns to abuse with Dry Skin, and you can use that with Protect and Leftovers, and you're already very tanky with 110, 90, 90 as a water ground type. So, you factor in a Dry Skin, you can become really tanky. But the main utility of that is obviously the water immunity, okay? You're neutral to water normally, you take 0 damage now, so strong water type attacks, which would normally chunk you, are going to do 0, and you'll heal a little bit. I believe you heal 1/3 with Dry Skin as opposed to 1/2 from maybe even only 1/4. I know you heal less than Water Absorb, which is like not a big deal because you also get the rain healing, so I'd rather have that personally than Water Absorb in most cases. But yeah, and logically, Dry Skin fits very well. I mean, they are amphibians. Dry Skin is by nature an amphibious type ability. It fits the same, like Toxicroak and stuff. And their other ability, so the pre-evolutions have Amplifier, which gives sound moves a 20% boost, and there is a link on the sheet to all of the moves that are boosted in that regard. Some of them are really good, which I'll get to in a little bit, but that's not as important because those are on the pre-evolutions, which frankly is, you have Palpitoad for maybe a little under half of the hack, but Sheer Force is still the star of the show here in terms of offensive ability. Sheer Force fits very well, logically, because if you read the Pokedex entries talking about Seismitoad, not only did I want to remember, I have to keep in mind the overlap with the other water grounds. None of them have Sheer Force or anything like that. I believe Mega Swampert has Headstrong, which is like offensive, but it's also on Omega, and it doesn't boost, it just prevents recoil. While in this case, it talks about being able to turn a boulder into rubble with one punch, and how it increases the power of its punches by vibrating the bumps on its fists. So that makes me think that Sheer Force fits really well, and it has all kinds of really awesome moves to abuse with Sheer Force. I honestly cannot be bothered listing every single one. Just know that it has tons of powerful stab options on both the physical and special side that has Sheer Force boosted, as well as coverage moves that have Sheer Force boosted. Plenty of coverage moves that have Sheer Force boosted, really a lot. So it would take way too long to list them all. I try to keep these videos a little bit shorter nowadays, so you can always check out what those moves do now in the description below. He also has really good priority. All Pokemon in his hack have priority for the most part, but he has Bubble Shot, Aqua Jet, Mud Shot, Sucker Punch, and First Impression. So those are all really nice to have. With the former being, or the latter, excuse me, being reteachable via TM, which is always nice. Great utility. I mean, obviously, just the fact that he's a bulky water ground type gives him great utility. Stuff. So amplifier boosted moves such as Disarming Voice and Dismal Cry and Harmonize will drop the opponent's attacking stats by 1. Water Pulse will also do the same thing. So those are all weaker moves that drop the opponent's offensive stats by 1, which is really nice to deal with all the offensive crap in the hack, and it's really great for a bulky water type to have in general, or any bulky Pokemon at that. Yeah, they got all kinds of really nice stuff. Like I said, great utility. They have tons of awesome utility moves like Z Soak and regular Soak for totems, and Water Sport, which is nice for Totem Marowak, and Rehydrate, which is a water type recover. Parting Shot is incredible. Taunts, Toxic Spikes, the list goes on. Acid Reflux, the list goes on. Acid Spray, and that doubles as an offensive tool, especially because with Acid Spray, dropping special defense by 4, you actually don't even need offensive investment to start chunking things. You also have Drain Punch to heal if you want to run like an Assault Vest or something for certain fights. Assault Vest could be pretty great. Poison Heal is trainers only. Poison Heal fits really well, because these guys are very poisonous. Like, not only are the toads based on poisonous, I believe Cane Toads or something like that, they also, learn a lot of poison moves and just in general fit the vibe of Poison Heal, in my opinion, and that would be really, really fun to abuse. But sadly, I can't enforce the fact that you will hold a Toxic Orb. I can't force that. It's possible to just go into the fight pre-poisoned and hold another item, and that's broken as fuck, and I cannot allow that for any of those abilities. So that's why those are disabled. But for trainers, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's really about it. I don't know what else to say. He's just the GOAT. I did give him really early Boom Burst, because Boom Burst is quite frankly not even that good on Seismitoad. It's only 125 base power, which is normally very strong. But if it's non-stab and non-boosted by an ability, yeah, it's useful enough, but you'd rather run a coverage move that actually hits something super effectively and then your stab. So not to mention, a lot of your stab is already stronger than Boom Burst to begin with now. But with Amplifier on Palpitoad and at level 32, which is really nice, as well as stuff like Commotion, which is pretty strong, and that also always confuses, and like I said, Dismal Cry and Disarming Voice, all these nice moves are Amplifier boosted. Amplifier fitting, obviously, because of the sound and the vibrations and stuff. Not the craziest ability, but it's just a nice little, oh, this is cool, I can use this until I evolve type deal. Yeah, that's really about it. Like I said, very powerful stab moves. I'm not going to bother listing them all, but you can see them all here. Setup-wise, he has Bulk Up, which is really all you would want. Also Stockpile and Buffed Swallow, which will heal you by full HP no matter what, as long as you have a Stockpile boost, and it's priority now, so that's a really nice move to heal if you deleted Rehydrate and you don't want to run Resto Chesto or Rest Talk or something. Or, like Dry Skin, Lefties, Protect, whatever it is. He has tons of ways to heal himself. But yeah, that's really about it. I'm going to leave the video up there. Hopefully it didn't go over 10 minutes. If it did, it's not the end of the world, though. Yep, I'll leave it up there. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. I appreciate it a lot. Definitely make sure you subscribe to the channel if you are listening and you have not subscribed yet. If this kind of thing appeals to you, if you want to see more from me, you can also, again, I implore you to check out the changes below in the Google Sheet. Those are very, very extensive and very detailed, so definitely give those a look. And I thank you for the time, and be back with more Unova Pokemon coming up. See ya.